Shoo! Shoo! Go away!
Oh, sorry. Gotta take care of these flies. Back in a sec. Hello, Whovians and subscribers, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, Series 9, Episode 11, Heaven Sent, starring Peter Capaldi as the 12th Doctor. Okay, so this story has a lot of hype surrounding it. Everybody loves this story. Everybody says this is one of the best in Capaldi's era, one of the best of the show in general. So does it live up to that? Stay tuned to find out. Plot picking up directly from where Face the Raven ended. As if the death of his best friend wasn't enough, the Doctor's situation has only gotten worse. What initially started as an attempt to help clear someone of a false murder charge has evolved into something much worse. Now trapped in an old rusty castle in the middle of an ocean, the Time Lord is being stalked by a mysterious creature that only pauses when he gives up his deepest secrets. What does this want? And can the Doctor escape and find his way home? I only have one thing to say. Wow! Heaven Sent. Incredible Doctor Who story. Masterpiece. This is easily the best thing in Capaldi's era so far. Wow. Wow! I'm sorry, I was blown away by this episode. And what's interesting about this is that it's a solo affair, really. Peter Capaldi is leading this episode on his own, other than the creature that's in it, but the creature doesn't really speak. And Clara has a brief cameo, well, Clara's ghost, I should say. Capaldi is leading this story on his own. And my gosh, is this episode fucking fantastic. Obviously, the Doctor is dealing with the death of Clara, so he's grieving that loss whilst trying to figure out what the hell is going on and where he is. And this episode is incredibly clever. This is one of the best episodes written by Stephen Moffat. I love the suspense. I love the mystery that we end up in this random castle and then everything seems to be going around and around in this continuous loop. And then the Doctor realizes this and is leaving clues for himself. And then he has to basically get to this room with a number 12 on the door. Convenient. And then he finds a way to get through to this kind of glass wall, and he has to break through the wall to get to his destination. And that's basically what he has to do in this story. He has to escape this time loop. And the twist is, and spoilers if you haven't seen this episode, the twist is that the Doctor was teleported. At the end of Face the Raven, he was teleported into his own confession dial. And the whole story takes place in this. And this creature that lives inside the dial is only going to not attack him when the Doctor confesses his deepest secrets, which is a brilliant idea because it makes the Doctor vulnerable in this story. We see Capaldi at his most vulnerable in previous stories and probably in forthcoming stories. Much more self-assured Doctor. He kind of knows what to do. He doesn't need to question too much, and he can be deadly serious and dark when he wants to be. I have never seen Peter Capaldi's Doctor more terrified of the events unfolding around him. This is fantastic writing. This really shows dynamic with him as a character. Because Series 8 was about him trying to rediscover himself, although it did it in a kind of convoluted and kind of anticlimactic way. This, to me, should have been the end of that arc of him rediscovering himself, because in this story, he's almost a bit helpless. He's looking for the clues, he's trying to make sense of the clues, and he's even communicating with Clara from beyond the grave through the chalkboard that appears in this story, and he feels almost very helpless. And I think Capaldi plays a real emotional, tortured side there. The creature itself is really fantastic as well. I don't know if it really has a name, but the creature is terrifying. It has these long fingers and hands and it tries to grab your face and then it kills you. and then you're reset back into the loop. So he's constantly re-teleported back in after he's killed. And then the Doctor has to, again, keep figuring out the clues behind this loop and what the hell's going on. And the setting of this kind of revolving castle is really cool. It's so cool. And visually, it's such a spectacle. And considering the fact that Capaldi is mainly delivering dialogue to himself, like the Doctor's talking to himself, he's saying what he's thinking, or he's talking to Clara, but he doesn't really have that much interaction with anyone else. And I think this is one of the best episodes as well, because we don't often get stories like this where the Doctor is companionless throughout the story. He's on his own. He's helpless. And I think he needed to be without a companion in this story. It was the best way to tell it. I think if Clara was still alive in the story, I don't think it would have had the same impact, because he would have had someone to bounce off. And I think we needed to see the Doctor vulnerable. We needed to see him at his lowest, especially after he's lost his best friend. He doesn't do so well with loss. So there is a great dynamic there. That being said, Clara does feature in the story. As I've said, she does feature briefly. Jenna Coleman does have her cameo as Clara's ghost when she says, you know what, win, don't lose. You need to fight back and you need to win, you know, because the Doctor is struggling to deal with this situation and he can't seem to find the answers. And then she's trying to motivate him to carry on and progress through. And he does do that. And my God, the pace of this story is fantastic. It's actually a longer episode. It's like 54 minutes. It's quite lengthy, but it never feels too long because there's always something going on. It's always intriguing. It has constant momentum. And you yourself, like the Doctor, are trying to work out what the hell is all this about. Then when you get to the climax, it is breathtaking. When we see the Doctor fighting his way through the loop continuously until he finally breaks the wall, and then bam, the end of the story, we're in Gallifrey, ready for Hell Bent. No, not yet. And I think Murray Gold's music is also very good here as well, and it's very understated. It's very incidental. It doesn't come across as too big or too orchestral. Like, this story isn't trying to be epic or anything. It's just trying to tell a very good story. This has everything that you could want in a Doctor Who episode, apart from a companion. But it doesn't need a companion. So aside that, it's got everything. It's got the suspense, it's got the drama, it's got the action. The story is very well written, which I know for Stephen Moffat, some of his stories haven't been the best, but this one is truly one of his best. And it made me really excited to see where this would go, although we won't talk about that till the next review. And to me, this is one of those episodes where I said to myself, Peter Capaldi is the Doctor. This is why they cast him. He plays such a range here, and he's not doing any cringy comedy, which is perfect for me. I don't think it suits him at all. I think this is what we need. We need to see the sort of vulnerable, unhinged, darker side to this character, because the Doctor isn't an angelic character, and I like that Capaldi's trail reflects that. And the Doctor also, and Capaldi's Doctor also comes across as somewhat human in some regard, because he deals with loss, he deals with grief, he deals with emotion in this story and in other stories. And what's great about this story is that there's no build-up, there's no pretense. The build-up was Face the Raven. Obviously, Face the Raven was its own story, and it dealt with Clara's death, but then it also set up for this one with the Doctor being teleported away. So, bam. Heaven Sent could just jump straight into the action. None of this Ashilda stuff, none of this me crap, you know, none of this pointless comedy. It just told the fucking story, and that's all it needed to do. And it made you terrified, it made you scared, it made you feel for the Doctor. You felt sorry for him, and when you see him terrified, you're like, wow, I've never seen this side of him before. Not with Capaldi's version anyway. This story is a stroke of genius. It is a masterpiece. It is incredibly emotional as well, because the Doctor's, again, he's grieving for Clara, but also as a character, you feel like maybe he won't get out of this. There's a sense of hopelessness, and then things finally turn around when he gets that motivation to go, you know what, I will get out of this if I have to keep going through this loop every 2 fucking minutes. So in the end, guys, I love this story. This was incredible. This is my favorite Peter Capaldi story so far. It really was a stroke of genius. And honestly, if this was the first part to a 2-part finale, I know technically you could count the last 3 episodes as a trilogy and one story, but they're not technically one story, really, but I'm going to count them as separate stories. If the next episode was as good as this, my God, Series 9 would have ended on such a high. But Peter Capaldi is phenomenal here, and if there's any performance to remember from him, it's this one. So my rating for Heaven Sent is easily a 10 out of 10. 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 10 out of There's no contest, no question. And I can see why people love it so much and why it's ranked very highly in the Doctor Who polls. And yeah, quite easily can see that. And it's one of the Stephen Moffat episodes of Capaldi's era that really is a work of genius. And which is why I'm very upset to say that the next review or rant is Hellbent. Oh, fuck. Brace yourselves. That one's going to be an acid trip. So what do you think of Heaven Sent? Please comment down below, let me know. And stay tuned next time when I review the series finale of Doctor Who Series 9, Hellbent. Oh, shit. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned next time when I rant on Hellbent. So until then, I'm Pajak's Perspective. See ya.